G'day, g'day.
G'day, mate. How's it going?
Oh, you know, could be worse, could be better.
Yeah, real Sunday morning. Rain was falling earlier. Bit of hail apparently in Brizzy overnight.
There was. Yeah, not a great day yesterday. Not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
Look, I was thinking about this because not going to bury the lead here, Drifters. A 2-time polo winner I am now. Because for reference, for anyone who doesn't really understand, our punk club has a once-a-year polo that can be won by the shittest punter on the day, and now I'm a 2-time winner of that said polo. I was like looking back, and I reckon there was like one bet where I was like, that might have been a bit silly from what I heard in the morning, and that was in the Congo because he was a bit all over the shop in the straight.
Yeah.
When he was trialling.
Yeah, didn't trial well at all.
But
apparently.
in saying that, I wouldn't have backed Home Affairs anyway. And then I look at my main bet of the day because I halved my bet for King's Charisma because Great House was there. And he, even if Great House wasn't there, King's Charisma would have won anyway, so it doesn't matter. But my main bet of the day, Arameo.
That was a shock.
That was a shock how poorly he run because he had the run of the race as well. And the form reference that I was going for was pretty much spot on because Cascadian came out and ran a brilliant race.
Great race, yeah.
And he beat him home last start. And he got weight off him.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
I was stumped.
Whatever. It just wasn't my day. And you get some of those.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. It was a weird day. For some reason, I can't really remember any of the races. Like, obviously we were drinking, but I was drinking mangoes, and I can't really remember any of the races and what they look like. I can remember the Derby vaguely because Hitotsu just absolutely stormed home.
Yeah, I remember the Derby because
I think
that was the only collect for the day for me. Allegron just getting absolutely pummeled in the first freaking 400 metres by Jungle Magnate.
Yeah, that was... Yeah, he did not like where he was at all.
3 wide the trip, stuck on, and only lost by 2 lengths.
Yeah.
Unbelievable run, but Hitotsu, wow, what a win.
Yeah.
Coolmore Home Affairs was brilliant. That was a great bet by you.
Mate, he absolutely towed them up. Like, just made it look so easy.
Arrogant,
yeah.
That's J-Mac. 4 wins on the day.
Yeah. Second on Cascadian.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he had another placing. Just a ridiculous day for J-Mac.
Ollie as well.
Ollie, 2 wins. Superstorm. What was his other one? Colette. I did not expect that.
No, when she jumped at $13, I saw that a bit too late. I was like, whoa. That's a bit of a price now.
Yeah.
But still, probably that I was actually thinking back to previous winners of the Empire Rose as well. That race has me scrambled every single year. I can't figure it out, and I'm very thankful that it's rarely in the quaddie legs.
Yeah,
because that was a highlight yesterday. We did win the quaddie.
Yeah,
which was good,
which is always nice. The Empire Rose I usually have no issues with. But yeah, I was completely off yesterday. I usually struggle with the Derby, and alas, I struggled again because I think if I wasn't going to bet on Jungle Magnate, I probably would have bet on Probably Forgot You, I think.
Yeah.
And he ran like 5th or 6th.
He ran 5th, sorry.
Yeah.
But he ran 5th by about 10 lengths.
Yeah.
It was dominant by the first 2.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's I've got the runner-up in the last 2 derbies now. So that's good stuff. Just there or thereabouts, you know?
Oh,
or thereabouts.
It is what it is.
Look, it's always a tough day. And I can guarantee you I'm going to win this polo again.
But it's not the first time.
No.
And it won't be the last.
Won't be the last.
And I made a nice little addition to the back of it for the event yesterday. So yeah, whoever has to have it in the future can be labelled very astutely
Yes.
Moving forward. But no, it was a great day, and shout out to the boys for the quaddie win. Shout out to you, mate, for organising all the, I guess being the accountant, essentially, the CFO. And well done to Josh Mcclellan, because he had heaps of futures bets on Hitotsu straight after the Guineas.
Yep.
Straight after the Guineas, he loaded into Hitotsu for the Derby.
And he's done this twice on the two biggest days of the year. Earlier in the year, every single bonus bet he got, he just lumped into stay inside in the golden slipper. And he had another combo going that day for an absolute fortune. And then he basically did the exact same thing with Hitotsu. I was like, look, that's your own prerogative.
Yeah.
I personally won't be betting on him. Left him out of my own quaddie, which of course, alas. But what a training performance.
Yeah,
1,600
it
up to
was
2,500. Wow,
Johnny Allen, the Derby specialist,
mate. He just few lessons learned yesterday, which we could actually transfer into the Melbourne Cup as well, because we were contemplating or thinking about like Colette, right? And maybe she's not quite right. She has the foot issues. Godolphin got her to the track. She's won 2 on the trot, including Group 1. So if Spanish Mission is actually going to have a start on Melbourne Cup Day, and the Chosen One and Delphi and the rest that have been betted, you have to trust the stable that they're actually going well.
You have to trust the stable. You also have to trust the vets.
Yeah.
The vets will, probably not the right way to phrase it, but they'll do everything in their power to scratch a horse if they think that the horse needs to be scratched. So the fact that it's not means it's right.
100%.
Even if it's 1/5 lame.
Yeah.
They won't run it. They won't let it run.
No. And nor they shouldn't. As we touched on previously, too much attrition in the Melbourne Cup. It's our best spectacle, best marketing tool for racing, the great sport of racing, and we need everything to go right. So, look, this is. I'm happy to leave yesterday in the past.
Oh, we move on.
That's where it belongs. But let's get on to our Melbourne Cup runner by runner preview. So what we're thinking for content this week, haven't actually discussed this with you, but we can have an on-air meeting.
Okay, good.
So we'll have a runner by runner for this one. I'm thinking we skip the Oaks and we just have
happy to a little straight to camera.
Yeah, we'll just do a little camera piece of our thoughts, but then we'll have the Darley and the McKinnon, all systems as per usual on Thursday.
Yes, keen for that.
And then we might have a let up for a couple of weeks, and then we'll probably do the Perth group ones.
Yep.
And then we'll call this season the end.
Done and dusted.
Lovely. But without further ado, let's do the Melbourne Cup runner by runner preview. Now we start with Twilight Payment at the top of the weights.
Yeah, familiar this horse. Obviously, they won the Melbourne Cup last year, Twilight Payment. Comes back to Australia, the Joseph O'Brien trained horse, to see if he can do it again. Jai McNeil retains the ride. McTeal. Jai. I think we spoke about Jai for half the podcast.
Did he ride a winner yesterday?
Just a canner at 17s.
Far out. It's about the only one I didn't back.
You guys who Josh Mcclellan had in that race.
Unbelievable.
He's unbelievable. Anyway, draws barrier 2 here. I think he's, from all reports from the stable, he's in better nick this year than what he was last year when he won. Joseph O'Brien just won a Cox Plate. The young man, he's our age. What are we doing with ourselves?
Oh no, just as we've touched on previously, we're putting out the best content in South Brisbane in this for the horse racing
specifically.
Industry, yeah, specifically.
That is true. We're doing that.
So,
hell of a ride last year. Jai McNeil on him to win, led all the way. Do you think something similar will happen this year? Do you think he's a red hot chance?
I think this is an easy race, and he's only going up 3 kilos.
Yeah.
So why couldn't he?
I think he could.
I think he's drawn perfectly in barrier 2. He can just find the rail, head on the chest sort of stuff.
Smoke his pipe.
You know, I think he's going to be mighty hard to run down, proven. And as you said, look at his last 12 months form. He's only raced this 6 times. He's an old boy, so you got to look after him. For 2 wins, 1 second, 2 thirds.
Some of the best form in Europe.
Yeah, 100%.
Behind the likes of, or around the likes of Subjectivist, Spanish Mission.
Room. Yeah. So I think he's riding the game here. He loves the 2 mile. He's proven to love that rock hard deck if he gets out there and rolling. Because last year it was very, very firm.
And he was quick.
Yeah, he was. And it was a great ride by Jai, so I can definitely see them doing the same. All right, the favourite in the market, you might have heard of this horse actually. Incentivise for Peter Moody and Brett Preble.
My guy, Big Eye, actually all of Australia's guy now, Incentivise, after a dominant Caulfield Cup victory.
So I think the thing to start with here would be obviously barrier 16. I don't think that's a bad draw necessarily. I think, they probably would have loved barrier 7, but everyone would. So I think he's riding the game, obviously. But the big thing that I've got a little bit of a query on is 2 miles, obviously, first time. But they're probably going to be on a good 3 by this stage. Like, has he been, dominant? Yeah, he has. He has been dominant on good tracks. But he's banging up on Mirage Dancer.
Hey, leave Mirage Dancer out of this.
That poor old boy,
He's an old boy.
He is very old. And, Incentivise the hot new thing on the dance floor. Just busting a move.
He is.
And he can stay all night, Incentivise.
He can. He's drinking vodka Red Bulls. He's having Jaeger bombs, Incentivise. I think Peter Moody's slipping them to him under the table. Peter Moody's got a big pint of 4X Gold I heard he likes. Yeah, what can you say about him? He's $2.60 with Ladbrokes at the moment. Jeez, that's short.
For a Melbourne Cup, that's bloody short.
That's bloody short.
And should have done a little bit more research into this. If you hadn't realised already, Drifters, we might be hanging out of our arse a little bit here.
We're just rolling into it.
We're rolling through the punches here. But I think there's only been one Caulfield Cup, Melbourne Cup doubles in the last 20 years or so. So it's very, very rare, but he is a special horse. He has to go into calculations.
Has to. I think he'll roll forward from barrier 16 and just use those big lungs, that big art. He's in with a chance.
I think so.
He's rated, his rating according to RaceNet is 123 in this. That would put him tied 8th in the world.
Yeah, so fair chance, I'd say.
Fair chance.
Lots of ticker for Incentivise. Spanish Mission.
Geez, a few dramas this week.
Yes.
The Spanish Mission, slightly lame. Craig Williams on the ride. He's going to take the field here. And what can you say about him? He's run second to Stradivarius. He's third to Subjectivist. He's winning left, right, and centre over in Europe. You know for a fact that he'll run out a strong 2 mile. He's carting around bloody 60 kegs in Europe. He's got 57 here. He's got Craig Williams on board. Geez, you're getting a price for this horse. I'll tell you how much for free. $8.50 with Ladbrokes at the moment. Jumps from barrier 14. He's in with a red hot chance.
I agree. I also just had a look at his anti-clockwise form as well. He gets on the Melbourne leg quite well, which is, you love to see that. And his form profile would suggest that they kind of target him at those good tracks, so I think he'll like it rock hard. Spanish Mission has been the pony that I've been wanting to get on for a long time. Was very dejected by the vetting during the week. So, and the way I'm going at the moment, you could probably put a line through it and then he'll win.
Silly.
And then he'll win.
Yeah,
so, look, I'm still having a red hot look at Spanish Mission. I think he will be one of the hardest to beat.
Agreed.
Best European form in the race with Twilight Payment. VE, she does take her part for the second year in a row. How's she travelling?
Look, based on her last run, and it shows how much I know, because I was a little bit disappointed with her Cox Plate run, but she ran essentially up to her peak over the 2,000 metres. I don't know if she's a length better or a length worse this prep. I'm really not sure. But reunites with J-Mac.
She does.
Will she be stranded on 9 Group 1s at the end of this race? I think so.
I think so. Look, if it was a heavy deck and it was bottomless, she'd probably be the bet in the race.
Yeah, well, you're getting $13.
Her or incentivized. Like, she has to lug 57 kilos. That's a lot of weight.
It's Maccabi Diva weight.
With the mare's allowance as well. So she's pretty much got 59. Crikey, that's a lot of weight. Yeah, she's an absolute star, but I don't think she's quite at her best. She had the tongue-tie gear on. She's had a bit of a flu. Yeah, happy to risk. And from barrier 19, I think she's basically going to be right up the arse end like she was in the Cox
She'll
Plate.
have too much work to do. It'll be a special performance if she wins.
Yeah, to be honest, I'd be shocked. So
I'd be shocked. Stranger things have happened. Explosive Jack, the Derby King from yesteryear.
Oh, 6 months ago.
he's come back this prep, and he's just working his way into it. With a 9th in the Maccabi Diva, a 5th in the Turnbull, and then a 17th out of 18 in the Caulfield Cup. Did you see if there was anything up with him post that Caulfield Cup race?
So I think the big thing for this horse, which he's shit out of luck here, he drew inside horses and he was flicking his head around. He's like, I don't like this at all.
He's still got his nuts, Explosive Jack.
Well, if he runs a nice 5th here, they'll probably geld him like they did for Persan last year. Makes no sense.
Unbelievable.
To me. Like, for a side topic, for a country where our staying ranks are piss poor.
Oh, yeah. Preach to me. I'm the choir.
We need all of this promising stays that we need with their nuts.
Here.
Oh.
Let Jack keep his nuts.
Let it.
Just let the boy be a boy. Maybe that's what he wants. Maybe he wants to get to the paddock and just get into it a bit.
Yeah, you know.
He's seen VE. He's just like, don't mind myself, older women. Good you.
So, yeah, apparently inside horses didn't like that. But, yeah, Johnny Allen in the saddle has a good affinity with the horse.
Definitely does. Guess who's got an eye on him? Josh Mcclellan.
Oh. Yeah, well, his Turnbull run was actually quite nice.
It was actually pretty good.
It was quite good. He finished off quite well there. But, yeah, I think he'll be tested here. 2 mile will probably suit him, though. The Chosen One. So he ran, 3rd or 4th in this race last year?
Mm-hmm.
He was unbelievable. He was probably... he probably was the horse that exceeded expectations for the spring most last year.
Yeah, so 4th in the Melbourne Cup. Behind your guy, Prince of Iran.
Yes.
Yeah, he went super. The Chosen One. I know for the Caulfield Cup podcast, we were talking about the fact that maybe he wants a soft deck, or maybe he wants a dry deck. Sorry. And the Caulfield Cup was around a soft 6, and I think you mentioned that the stable said he's got no issues with it.
Apparently.
Well, whatever. He gets a dry deck here. I reckon he'll run a pretty good race. The Chosen One for $50.
Yeah, well, there's another query on him as well. Clearly, he was vetted during the week, and but he takes his place here. So you're getting a price to find out. $50.
Frosty on board?
Yes,
I'd be shocked if he wins.
I would be very shocked. So what about Delphi? He's the other one that got vetted during the week.
Yeah, a little bit of a
little vet party.
Yeah, bit interesting. Delphi was awesome in the Herbert Power over 2,400 meters.
Who'd he beat though? Chosen One.
Yep. That's what I mean. Then goes to the Caulfield Cup. Doesn't do much at all. Failed, I'd say.
Well,
started second favourite behind Big Eye.
Yeah, maybe he didn't handle the track or the quick backup.
Potentially. Ollie had to get low for that race.
He had to get so low, and he's getting back low here.
Yeah.
53 kegs.
I'm looking elsewhere.
So, yeah, I think he's drawn okay in barrier 3. He'll probably go forward. He might sit outside Twilight Payment and probably try and cast Incentivise out wide like he did in the Caulfield Cup. So, Ollie in the saddle, you have to respect Ollie. But, yeah, I think he's tested here. Ocean Billy. Look, if we're being shocked by some 9-time Group 1 winners, I'd be flabbergasted if this thing got up.
Yeah.
But the thing in its favour is it did beat by 2 and a bit lengths Sir Charles Road, who's run well in a Melbourne Cup previously, and Sound, who's run in 2 or 3 Melbourne Cups previously. But is that form winning a Melbourne Cup? I highly doubt it.
I wouldn't have thought so.
So, yeah, jog on, Ocean. But all the best to Connections.
Going for a swim because I'm chucking you in the ocean, Billy. Number 9, sheesh. Really happy with the barrier draw for Selena. 24. Come on.
Anything could happen.
Oh, mate. Look, the good thing is
He's a stayer.
he's a stayer. He'll run out the 2 miles and he'll run it out well. The good thing is as well, you'd rather be 24 than 1 with this guy.
I think 1 to 5, you'd probably go, oh, shit.
Yeah. Ideal would have been 10 to 15 maybe.
Yep.
Gets 24 here. Look, he's gonna be pretty far back anyway. So is it a bit of a graze on me skin?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are my fingers a little bit burnt on that tips? Oh, tiny.
Sure.
But I'm also speaking out of my pocket because he's drifted out to $71 with Ladbroke. And I launched into him at a much sharper price. And I knew I shouldn't have. I just couldn't help myself. Drifters, I couldn't help it. I was just riding that wave. I know he's $71. You look at his form leading into this, but if you listen to our podcast during the week, Drifters, with one of the part owners of Seleno, Craig Sneesby, there was never any intention for him to win any of those races. They've just been working away at him to run in this race. And if you look at his European form, before he came to the better shores of Australia, before he won the Sydney Cup, which is a Group 1 over 3,200, mind you, he's raced in Europe and he's finished second to Spanish Mission twice.
And Craig was telling us that they think he's about a 5 to 6 length better horse. And he only was losing to Spanish Mission by about 3 lengths. But he was losing and running second, but he was gapping the rest of them.
Yeah.
So this horse will stay all day. Gets the track pattern to not pattern. We don't know what it's going to be. Track conditions to suit.
I guess it is.
No, well, I'm not the best speaker at the best of times. So, yeah, he gets a good track, which he will love. I reckon they'll try. Now, Ronnie Stewart is in for a bloody tough day at the office.
Ronnie was his rider in the Sydney Cup.
He was.
So
and
He
reignited. And you know what? He's not opposed to just blending in, 1,000 from home, going 6 wide without cover.
Yeah. Literally. That is what they'll do.
Because this horse will stay all day. He's a 4,000 metre horse. So if he wants to make it a staying contest, he will. So I reckon he's in with a shot. Definitely top 4 for mine. $71. Come on. Best of luck to Connections.
We'll leave it at that.
Johnny Get Angry. Now, there's our boy Johnny. So, for more recent listeners of the podcast,
for the thousands of people who've only just woken up to themselves and started listening.
Yeah. Season 1 of the podcast, this horse was definitely the most talked about horse that of the season. We mentioned him every second week and we still didn't back him in the derby.
At what? Like 40s?
Oh, something silly.
Just a little 5 each way. That's all we needed.
We could have had a separate quaddie and just lobbed him in there.
Yeah.
But we didn't. So, anyway, Johnny Get Angry. Look, Bossy's had some things to say about him, which isn't that nice.
Very unlike Bossy to come out and say something big before a big race day.
No.
Hey, by the way, guys, I'm running in this race too. Nah, love your work, Bossy.
He's good for the game. But Dennis Pagan, how good that he has a Melbourne Cup runner. If you were in Dennis's shoes, as if you wouldn't do the exact same thing.
Oh, 100%. You could Stephen Bradbury it.
Yeah, 100%.
This is the grand final and he's in the grand final. There's a lot of horses that aren't.
And I could guarantee you, Dennis, with his competitive juices flowing, I reckon he has one objective and one objective only in this race, and that's to beat home Bossy's rides.
Yeah.
Sir
Lucan.
So,
look. From looks of it, Sir Lucan, but anyway.
So, Johnny Get Angry, $71. Look, if I was to be critical of Ladbrokes, I'd probably say you want to push that out a little bit.
Yeah.
But he'll get a lot of $2 each way punters on the day. So all the best, but sorry, Johnny, not this year.
No, Johnny, he's getting angry. He'll be furious after this race. Night's order for Gay Waterhouse and Adrian Bott. Mr. Stackhouse on board. What you can say about him is that he's won over the distance, which a few of these horses haven't. But let's move on to the next horse.
He beat Cariff. So
I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked.
100. Look, barrier 9. He could be 3 wide on the lead without any cover. Holy smokes! Good luck. Person. Now this horse does have a chance for mine. He's been really, really impressive. And look, that Caulfield Cup form has kind of been franked already with Great House running brilliantly on Derby Day this week. Luke Harry in the saddle. Barrier 11's not too bad, I don't think. He will look to sit midfield, and this horse will just grind away. I reckon he'll be in that group of 6 horses in the final 300 that's looking to unleash or chase down Twilight Payment and incentivise. So whether or not he has the turn of foot, that's another thing. I think he needs consideration.
Oh, I think $41 is very generous per son.
Fifth in the Melbourne Cup last year.
Yeah. His prep so far has been awesome. He's finished third behind Incentivise and Nonconformist in the Cup. There was a bit of a gap, but he's run third. Turnbull, forget about that run. Third behind Floating Artist and Defibrillate.
Yep.
Floating Artist has obviously gone on to keep running well. So yeah, I think he'll be in the first 6.
Yeah, there or thereabouts.
Yeah.
Cariff, thoughts?
Oh, no thoughts for Cariff. He's got a tongue tie for the first time, which you love to see. Look, I'd be shocked.
He's been fluctuating between that $101 to $99 quote. So
read into that what you will.
Yeah. So look, for Peter and Paul Snowden, all the best. Blake McDougall, great to see him get a ride.
I think he's going to be a very special jockey, Blake McDougall.
But a win percentage rate of 8% for this horse is probably not good getting the job done in the Melbourne Cup. Master of Wine, now the stable did say that this horse is wanting the 2 mile. But if he wanted the 2 mile, he'd need it wet. $126 is probably about right. If he's not making up the 10 length difference there from the Caulfield Cup in mine.
Yes, I agree. Pondus came to our shores with pretty big raps.
Been a bit disappointing.
Has been a bit disappointing. I tell you what though, I think he could improve. I really do. He gets out to 3,200 metres, see how he goes. Good deck, might not be his jam. I'm happy to risk Pondus.
Best of luck to Rachel King.
Yeah, best of luck to Rachel King. Lightweight for the 6-year-olds. Drops a fair bit from the Moonee Valley Gold Cup. So, yeah, look, if he won that, he'd be a shorter price here, but he didn't. He ran 4th, so happy to risk Pondus.
Yes, I agree. Grand Promenade, another runner for Kieran Maher, and David Eustace. Kieran McAvoy in the saddle, so I think Kieran has to be respected of what ride he actually takes. So I think they have a pretty big opinion of this horse. From what I saw in the Bart Cummings, which, he did win that by about 1.5 lengths to Charlie Rose, who then won the Geelong Cup to get in, didn't impress me. I thought he was really labouring to the line. Now, for a staying stable, you can't underestimate that stable. But I can't see this horse winning. I think if he drew, say, barrier 6, could be in with a shot. 21's a tough ask.
Yeah, I agree. I wasn't too impressed by its win in the Bart Cummings, but yeah, like you said, you have to respect the stable. Yep. So I get the price. In cracking form, Grand Promenade, you can only beat who's in the race with you.
Absolutely.
Karen McAvoy, like you said, knows how to win a Melbourne Cup, but I am happy to risk.
Yes, Miami bound.
Yeah, got nothing to say there.
Well, look, let me have a little look-see here. So she finished 14th in the Cup last year, but I think it was her lead-up runs which were a bit more impressive. I think she's just an out-and-out stayer, but she needs wet tracks. that's her big thing, and she obviously won't be getting that here. $126 seems about right. Port Guillaume. Now, again, now last time in our runner by runner, I didn't have a great idea about this horse, but look, based on his runs in Australia, I don't think he's really getting the job done. He just beat home Mustard Wine last start in the Caulfield Cup. Barrier 3. Yeah, soz.
No. She's ideal. She's a canny mare. For Bjorn.
Yep.
Mr. Baker, our guy.
A consistent money spinner. She pays the bills.
She's won more than $1 million in prize money. Weird prep for mine. Runs super well. First up in the wing stakes over 1,400 metres. Struggles in the Chelmsford. Wins the Kingston Town over 2,000 metres. Had the run of the race.
Mm-hmm.
I will add that. Metropolitan, forgettable. Caulfield Cup, forgettable. I like her. She's ideal. Not in this race, but I'm thinking she's more of that middle distance horse. I'm not sure if she's a staying horse.
Well, I respectively disagree. Because I think this is just saying to me they're just getting K's in the legs for her. I think it was the Bart Cummings theory. Now, he knew how to win a Melbourne Cup.
God, yeah.
And you're seeing James Cummings adopt the same theory in these derbies. You see his horses, those two Godolphin horses yesterday.
Allegron and Character, yeah.
They basically had the same prep. I think they got about, give or take, about 6,000 metres in the legs before the derby. So they were rock hard fit. That's what they're doing here. And Bjorn is definitely getting some advice from Murray, who Murray Baker he's won a couple of Melbourne Cups as well, I believe. So just doing some quick maths. So 24, 24, 48. So 6,800, 74. So she's getting around that 9,000 metres in the legs before the 3,200. So I reckon that's just getting her rock hard fit here. She's probably over the odds at 100 to 1. She's probably not the worst 100 to 1.
Oh, no, she's not, yeah.
So, but she probably needs it a little bit wetter. We spent a lot of time on a 100 to 1 shot there.
Well, here's a 200 to 1 shot.
Future score. I think this is probably, because there's just been such an attrition rate with the order of entry, I think this is probably one of those that has snuck into the field for mine, that we probably wouldn't see in previous years. So future score, Dean Yendall in the saddle. He's been lengths off Delphi, lengths off Nonconformist. He lost to Sound. Look, others preferred.
Yep. Charlie Rose.
Now, this would be a great story.
She's another canny mare. It would be a cracking story. Out of Tavistock, Charlie Rose.
Bought for 50 grand.
Yeah, something like that.
Country, I want to say Victoria, but I'm going to say Australia.
Yep. Yeah, she's had a great prep so far. This has always been her grand final. I thought she was awesome in the Geelong Cup. Don't know if that's the form. It's the best form in this race, but she's run cracking races. She's run third, second, first. She's just winding her way into it. Gets in with 51 kegs on her back here. I think she'll run a decent race. Drawn perfectly.
Yep.
Charlie Rose, I think she'll run a decent race. But looking to others.
Yeah, absolutely. I think she's probably a bit sharp in the market, but I reckon there'll be a lot of press about this horse. And
she'll be the surprise baby.
You took the words out of my mouth, because Surprise Baby started at $5 last year.
Unbelievable. Because
there was a lot of Mars and Pars just having their two bob.
Look, I wasn't on Surprise Baby, but I wasn't on Twilight Payment either. So I can't talk.
No. Floating Artist. So he was in the early nominations of the Herbert Power yesterday, and they didn't decide to go there. Now they've got their way into the field, which is brilliant. He's lightly raced. To be fair, hasn't done a lot wrong since coming to Australia. So.
I really liked his last run, Floating Artist. I really did. Good to see Teo Nugent retains the ride, 50 kegs on his back for the apprentice. He's got an affinity with this horse, ridden it, I think, every start this prep. Look, I think Floating Artist will run a race. Again, though, you've got to risk some, and I'm happy to risk Floating Artist.
I'd probably prefer him over Grand Promenade. I'd
as
say
would
I'd probably rank them per Sun, Floating Artist, Grand Promenade.
I'd probably agree with you there, yeah.
Their top 3 seeds. But yeah, he's in with a shot. Barrier 10's a nice draw. Great House, look, he's been... Did we miss one?
No.
You're
Floating
doing-
Artist, Great House, yeah.
Yeah, you're doing the odds. Sorry.
That's all right, mate.
I overtook you.
All I was going to say, he won the Hotham Handicap yesterday, so it's fresh in the mind.
Yes.
Great ride by J-Mac, might I add. Last horse to win the Hotham Handicap and back up and win the Melbourne Cup was Shocking.
Who will be on the feature tile of this episode?
Oh, good.
Yes.
I like Shocking. His progeny just won the Golden Eagle yesterday. I'm thunderstruck. Guess who Shocking's by?
Please.
Street Boss.
Bang. Well, there you go.
Or maybe Street Cry.
You're telling this story.
Anyways. Same. So his Shocking sire is Anamo's grandsire.
Gotcha.
It's just some decent progeny coming out of that big fella. That grandpa, big daddy dick. The streets, apparently. That's what I heard.
Sure. So,
Look, I think Great House ran super well yesterday. But yeah, got to risk some.
So people usually go like, "Oh, surely they can't back up from the Saturday." They very much can.
It happens all the bloody time. They're
They-
horses.
They do it all the time, and these horses from that race, the Hotham, they run top 10 every single year.
Yeah.
They exceed expectations every single time. The best to do it in recent times was Prince Baron, who he went. So he's done it a couple times. So first year, I think he did the Geelong Cup, ran 3rd or 2nd. Then he did the Hotham, and then he did the same thing, and he obviously was in the field from last year. But yeah,
that's the thing. If you went for a 6K run today, would you be like, once you finish that run, I don't think I'll be able to do another one for 2 weeks?
no.
Like, you're not a horse, but
No.
you could probably draw parallels there.
No, I think it's a fair point you make. Mickey D in the saddle, lightly weighted, drawn perfectly. Look, not a bad shout. Sir Lucan, the last horse in this field and a Northern Hemisphere 3-year-old. So
Yup.
Bossy in the field, Bossy in the saddle, 50 kegs. He's drawn the hoodoo of hoodoos, barrier 18, which has never produced a winner in the Melbourne Cup. I was reading a piece that Bossy did, as he usually does, whenever he has a big ride. And he said either 2 things is going to happen with this horse. It's going to run out of his skin. Sure. Or the occasion's going to get to him and he's just going to fail miserably. Yeah.
So he's either coming first or he's coming last.
Yeah. So he's the Ricky Bobby of this race. He but he also said this horse might be 6 to 12 months away.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that because Gay Waterhouse was interviewed during the week and she said, I reckon he's a prep away. But we've seen it all the time. Northern Hemisphere 3-year-olds. They come here and do well, but do they have form better than him? Usually.
Yeah.
I was on Tiger Moth last year. I was on Il Paradiso the year before that, and they both had better form
And I
than
was
this
on
guy.
Cross Counter the year before that. But yeah, I'm happy to risk him. I think there's better chances in the race for mine. And of the Europeans, yeah, they're carrying more weight, but they're proven. They're proven horses. So I don't know. Are you leaning towards picking Sir Lucan in your top 3?
I looked at him because he's a Northern Hemisphere 3-year-old, and that's that's my formula for the Cup. And I tell you what, it's got me plenty of seconds. Look, when Gay Waterhouse says it's a prep away, how much do I trust the trainers? Enough.
Yeah.
And also, like, they know the horse better than I do, clearly. I wouldn't be surprised to see him run really well. But you got to risk some of your numbers. He's not in mine.
Absolutely. So, Declan,
Hello.
please, without further ado, can you give me your top 4
Top 4.
in the 2021 Melbourne Cup?
I sure can. Look, it's no secret. I've got to put Salino on top. Got to. Have to.
$71 at the current quote could be triple figures.
it could blow out even further. Wouldn't be surprised.
He'd be the best 100-to-1 shot you'd ever have your money on.
Agreed.
Ever.
Agreed. Yeah, I think he's overs. Oh, look, I've got to have him on top. I'm speaking out of my pocket. I'm speaking from heart because I know one of the owners, and I'll be with said owner on Melbourne Cup Day. But I honestly do think that his form stacks up at 2 miles. He's finished behind Spanish Mission twice over long distances. Gets a good deck. Chris Waller's an absolute master. Oh, I tell you what, don't have to have him on top, Drifters, but put him in your bloody exotics.
100%.
So he's my on top pick. Got to have Big Eye running second.
Gotcha.
I love Big Eye. I think he can win this. I really do. And if he does, he's a special, special horse. And I'm really glad that he's from Queensland because it'd do wonders for Queensland racing if he wins. And then running into third, Spanish Mission. Can't knock that CV at all.
Yep.
At all. And if I had to pick a fourth, it'd be Twilight Payment. I think he'll run well again.
Yeah. No, our top 4 is exactly the same in different order. So I'm not going to drop off Spanish Mission here. I think, look, there's a bit of, if he's lame, he's lame. So be it.
It's past the point of Karen. If he's lame, if he jumps out of the barriers, he's got 3 legs. Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah. Like, obviously, with the welfare of the animal at the absolute paramount, if he's just no good on the day, then so be it. Just hope he, everything's right with the horse. But I'm trusting the vets. I'm trusting the ownership, training, jockey that he's right to go. $8.50, you're getting a price now.
Yeah.
Last 3 months, he's been hovering around that $4 quote. And he's much better price now. So I think it will be a European Quinella. I've got Twilight Payment in second. I think, you're getting double figures for a horse that bangs up on this field.
At this distance, eats this distance for breakfast, Twilight Payment.
On a much more difficult field last year. So why couldn't he do it again? I think Incentivise beat Salino home. But I do have Salino in my numbers.
Good.
And I'll be looking around the Ladbrokes markets because, they're probably got, and where this is nothing that Ladbrokes have told us to say. I'm speculating what's going on here. But surely there's some top 10 markets or top 6 markets. I'll be having a look at those because at $100-to-$1, surely he'd be, or $70, he'd be well in on those markets. So I'll be shopping there if they are available. If they're not, then completely disregard that.
Yeah, chuck him in all your exotics. That's all I'll say.
So, look, all the best to all connections. Apologies if we've offended you, but I'm sure you've heard worse. But yeah, for another 42 minutes. Gee, we really dribble on, don't we? So, look, mate, it's always a great race. We probably won't be giving out any tips on the card. We'll probably just reserve that for Saturdays, I'd say.
I think so, mate.
But yeah, all the best to all the drifters out there. No tipping comp for this, I don't think. We'll just do it for Saturdays as well. But again, thanks for listening. Thanks for the support.
Yeah, appreciate it, drifters. Best of luck and gamble responsibly if you're having a punt on the Melbourne Cup.
Oh, yes, please do. All right, thanks, guys.
See ya.